And welcome back live inside the historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy, Ohio. JT Zabo joining you here on Troy, Ohio TV as the Troy Trojans and the Findlay Trojans set to do battle in a non-conference affair, as these two hockey teams have met once prior this season, with the Trojans coming away with a big one. It is, of course, Youth Hockey Night here at Hobart Arena, as the Troy Bruins youth hockey program in attendance tonight. You saw them during the national anthem lining up with the Trojans. As we are underway, the Trojans in their home white uniforms with the scarlet and gray trim. We'll talk a little bit more about the Bruins and youth hockey night here as the evening continues. As the first shot of the night, right on starting netminder Noah Carver, as it's played up on the half boards, picked up by Lombardo. Trojans concluding a 2-game weekend as that one's up and out of play for a whistle now. With 14:34 to go. As the Trojans will clear that one back out. Laid up on the boards. Trojans on the road last night against Gahanna. And the Lions were able to pick a tough 8-1 decision over the Trojans on the road last night. Trojans trying to get back on the winning track here against Findlay in a non-conference weekend in front of a home crowd as both clubs will get a wholesale change. That one played up the wing. Now for the Trojans inside their own zone. Here's Smith. He'll curl it off from behind Carver. With a head of steam on this breakout attempt in the centering pass. Intercepted out at center. Right back in by the Findlay Trojans, and Troy is able to clear all the way down inside the Findlay zone. A shot off the side of the cage. The rebound played back into the far side. Up to the point and held on by Smith. Far wing, Francis Knott is able to poke that one back down low now for Carson Smith, who battles it out from behind the net. Starting netminder for the Findlay Trojans, Jude Brassfield, made the save. As this one played up on the near wing. Here's a centering pass, knocked away at the last second. And here comes Swisher back at the line but can't control. Now for Findlay. Here's a shot, shoot, scores! Second shot of the night with a little help. It's Carson Smith and Brady Smith that put the offensive firepower together. As you saw that play from behind the net. An early 1-0 lead for the Trojans of Troy. As Gabby Path will be in to take the face-off for Troy. Played ahead. 1-0 early along the banks of the Great Miami River if you're just joining us. What they're calling the second shot on goal for the Trojans. Brady Smith is going to get credit for the goal. His brother should get credit for an assist as well, as Gabby Path plays that one on the far side and ahead now for Harris. Here's Harris with the puck out through center ice, but he loses it as there's a shot. That one saved right on by Carver. And Noah Carver was able to make the save now to stop the clock. With just over 12 minutes to go. 12:36 here as the faceoff. One back by Findlay. Played ahead on this ice cycle. Now on the near wing, up at the point. Trying to control. There's Sexton. He'll curl off out of his own zone under pressure. Cooper Sexton will post up out from behind the net. That headman pass stopped. Wenning tries to get something going as well as Findlay is forced to retreat that back at their own line. Sending it ahead. Big hit by Burris. Turned it back over now for Lombardo as he's going to touch it up off sides. And that will stop the clock now with just under 12 minutes to go. 11:59 to go. And the faceoff is going to remain inside the neutral zone as that's won by Burris. And now back inside the Trojans' end for Troy. That could get a little confusing as the night goes on. We'll do our best to differentiate the home Trojans and the visiting Trojans. Sometimes that happens with a non-conference opponent, as we see that tonight. Still playing on the half board. Still stymied along the wall. A shot high. That one missed Carver, glove side. Don't force it back down low into the corner. Still tangling it up. Sexton plays it out from behind the net. Beidel plays it again around the corner as he was able to get that ahead now for Wenning. On the half boards. Here's Gavin Burris. 2-on-1 the other way with Lombardo. Had it on his wing. Right back for Burris. Bouncing puck knocked away as the Trojans are able to get a change. And they'll force that one right back. Now for Findlay. Ahead too wide across the neutral zone. We'll put that one just wide of Carver as Lombardo pokes it back to Schumann in the corner. And again for Lombardo. Wrapped around the boards, played in front of the benches, forced back in as Findlay tags up at the line. Fanning on it was Campbell. Finally gets that one ahead, back out through center ice as Lombardo picks up the pass at the red stripe, pumps it right back inside Findlay territory as the bouncing puck is going to come up and out of play. And stop the clock now with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And again, like we talked, it is youth hockey night here at Hobart, as the Trojans celebrating the Troy Bruins youth hockey program, as most Trojans have played at one point or not their minor hockey through the Bruins organization run by the city of Troy. A handful of Dayton Stealth players on the roster as well played their minor hockey there, as that one's going to be fired in by the Troy Trojans. Dumped ahead, now by Findlay. Cleared but not out at the line. Finally right back for Francis Knott as he's able to dump it deep inside the zone. Under 10 minutes and counting here in this first period. 1-0 if you're just joining us. Thanks to Brady Smith. There's the shot right on. Turned aside, shoots, he scores! 9:31 to go, a tied hockey game. As the trailer had a wide open net, and all the time he needed to push that one in for the tying goal. We'll go downstairs for the official call from Roger Mumpower momentarily, as the Findlay Trojans carry that one across the Troy line. Played back by Carver. Leaves it off behind his net and hits off the Ort glass before they work it back on the half boards. Big hit against the Dashers. Shot at the point. Bounces high up and out of play. And so it is Weasel getting the goal for Findlay to make it a 1-1 hockey game. Still working out to center ice. Hit off the puck was Wenning. He'll have to tag back at the line. Sexton lined up a hit, turned that around, and now it hit off the skate of Gavin Burris and back inside the Troy zone as he skates out from behind the net to play it on this breakout attempt. Has his pocket picked cleanly. And a big hit right there. No call, as that was definitely direct to the head of Eli Wenning. He went down hard. No call. Findlay getting away with a big one there. As the shot turned around, loose puck, knocked away. Carver didn't see it. Beidel is able to help clear it out with Lombardo, as they'll force that one in front of the benches. Burris tries to give chase as well. Laid back by Findlay. They'll finally get it deep inside their own zone under pressure from Lombardo. Troy is able to get a change. Now on this breakout, icing signaled. And icing the call. And that'll bring the faceoff back inside the Findlay zone. And so on this play, they'll work it ahead. Still having some technical difficulties with some of our graphics. We apologize for that, but the Trojans able to get it deep inside the Findlay end. Big head man rush, turn it back around. Working it back at the Troy line. There's Francis Knott getting worked over hard on the half boards. It's finally picked up by Smith. They'll work it out to center, where it's scooped back up by Findlay, and they'll regroup in front of their own bench. Centering pass. Nobody was there. Icing signaled, and they're going to go ahead and give it an icing call, as the referee right there, Greg Leff, said it was enough to warrant an icing. And so with 7 minutes and 43 seconds to go, the faceoff is going to come back inside the Findlay zone. And in to take the faceoff, Gabby Paff. One back into the far side. Giving chase is Barnes. That one finally cleared. All the way back down. Here's Paff. Knocked that away at the last second. As Harris is able to get that one up the boards. Held on the half boards. Harris gets it ahead now for Andrew Condi, who plays it on the Dashers. Now for Harris, tried that outlet pass for Barnes, as it was a bit too rich for him, but he's able to carry it in, and a good effort there to get back on side, as Gabby Paff was able to pump that one just in before it's turned back over. At the red stripe, fired in. That one's going to be stopped by the netminder Noah Carver. And with 7 minutes and 43 seconds to go, here in this first period, a 1-1 battle between Findlay and Troy. A battle of the Trojans on Youth Hockey Night here at Hobart Arena. And right off the draw, this one's going to be scooped up by Gavin Burris. Sends it ahead for Lombardo. He's got time, shoots! And that one's saved by Brasfield. Rebound, cleared on the side of the cage. He scores! And just good, hard-working effort right there. That was enough to make this a 2-1 hockey game. We'll go downstairs to Roger Mumpower for the official call, as Lombardo controls the puck before it gets stripped away by Findlay. That one's going to be hit off the high glass. Rebound, chips out in front of the net before Sexton clears. Rebound saved by Carver. Gavin Burris is going to get credit for that goal, as you hear Roger Mumpower with the official announcement, as the Findlay Trojans are going to touch that one up off sides. And it looked like Sexton might be getting credit for that one as well. And so the faceoff is going to remain at center ice. And it's one back to Andrew Condi. Forcing it ahead for Burris. So he's able to get it deep inside the Findlay zone. Francis Knott gives chase. Held on at the point by Condi, and right back down low inside the zone it goes. Around the Dashers. Scooped up by Weasel. He has the lone goal for Findlay so far, as he's able to stretch that one inside the Troy zone. Rebound, bouncing puck cleared away by Carver. He didn't know where it was, and finally he was able to hold on. Stopping the clock now. with 4:55 and counting. Off the boards and out it goes as icing signaled, giving chase for it. Icing is the call. And that'll bring the face-off back inside the Troy zone. And we'll try that one again as Brady Smith steps in to take the draw. As that's one picked up by Findlay, knocked away, right back to the point. That shot didn't make it all the way as Carson Smith is able to get it ahead. And now Troy traverses across the Findlay line too wide. And they're able to get that one in as Carver makes the save. And that stops the clock now. With 4 minutes and 24 seconds to go. As head coach Rick Zabo electing to put some fresh bodies out on the ice for this faceoff as Gabby Paff takes it. For Troy, gets it ahead. And now a foot race the other way for Will Barnes. The freshman under pressure is able to get that one across. For it's caromed all the way back down inside Troy territory, and a big hit as Sexton takes his man into the sunset, forcing it back for Barnes on the half boards. That was 22 Cameron Wright that's a little slow to get up. Don't force it back at the line. Barnes gets his hit off the puck. To work it back inside the Troy zone, curls it around his Weasel. He'll cut out from behind the net, lose puck. Knocked away and batted away by Crawford, no call. As they'll go up against the Dashers, racing for it was Paff. Gets it ahead now for Harris out through center ice. Here's Luke Harris. Forcing it back down low. Wetting back to help out, tangling it up again, still with Harris. The loose puck into the corner, no call as the Findlay Trojans wrap that around at the point. A shot from Condi as that one's safe. Rebound off the short glass, right back to Condi, bouncing puck. Brausfield made the save. Rebound back around the boards. Now it's going to be cleared, no icing call. They play it back out to center ice. Burris is there, give and go now for Lombardo, who quickly tips it deep inside the Findlay zone. Throws on the brakes, give and go, nobody was there. And now here comes Findlay, 3 wide through the neutral zone. Head of steam, Carver the save, and he will elect to hold on to the accolades of the hometown crowd here in Troy. As part of Youth Hockey Night, sponsored by Tim Hortons of Troy. And we do like to thank Tim Hortons, locally owned in Troy, Ohio. Both locations now owned locally. They were generous enough to donate a small pack of Timbits for every youth hockey player wearing their sweaters to the game tonight. And so we'd like to personally thank Allison and her crew at Tim Hortons of Troy, as they'll force that one back down low. Out of the corner, turns and fires out of the corner. That one again right back to the point for Sexton. He'll get it around. 1 minute and 57 seconds to go here in this opening period. Centering pass, nobody was there. It's icing signaled, icing the call. And that'll bring the faceoff back inside the Findlay zone. Troy is ahead by 1, thanks to the hard work of Gavin Burris, the senior, picking up the go-ahead goal. As they'll play that one back to Sexton. Lombardo couldn't contain, and now here comes Findlay the other way with a head of steam. Across the Trojans line, one-timer. Made it just through across the crease. A little help for their goaltender there. It's clear but not out. Back to the point. The shot turned aside, paddled aside by Carver as he goes sprawling across the crease. Able to keep that in. Back for Sexton, who quickly fires it 185 feet the other way. A relief valve situation for the Trojans under immense pressure there. Goaltender Noah Carver certainly getting a workout in that last section, with a little help from his defensive pairing. Is right off the draw. That one played up the wing. That's going to bounce up and out of play. Stopping the clock with 1:07 to go here in this first period. And in to take the draw for Troy, Gavin Burris. Wins it back into the corner. Laid back at center before it's scooped back up by Findlay. There's a shot right on. Turned aside. Now a big hit there by Sexton as it clears away. Can't quite get it where they need to on the Dashers. And a bit of a miscommunication there by Schumann and Lombardo. Keeps that one inside the zone. Trojans again unable to clear out of their own end. Finally turned aside by Burris. And he'll work it out across the Findlay line. He's got Lombardo on his wing. Trojans finish a defensive line change as that gets back to Schumann at the line, but he can't contain. And they'll force that back again, out to center ice. Trojans struggling offensively to get it out of their own zone after controlling a lot of the tempo in the first half of this period. Its time will just expire. 15 minutes of hockey in the books. It is a 2-1 lead for the Trojans. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll have second period action from Hobart Arena. This is Troy Trojans hockey on Troy, Ohio TV. Welcome back inside Hobart Arena as we rejoining you here for the beginning of period number 2. The Trojans holding on to a 2-1 lead here in the second period. As it looks like we might do this one again. Face off in the neutral zone. They'll work that one down low into the corner. 2-1 if you're just joining us here on Youth Hockey Night here at Hobart as we celebrate the minor hockey associations in the area. Troy Bruins and even some Dayton Stealth jerseys. Played back on the side of the cage, tried to pick the corner. Carver was able to close up shop, short side, as this one cleared, but not out. Still forcing it inside the Trojans' end. Shots on goal at this point, 11-6 in favor of Findlay. As again, the Trojans unable to clear out of their own zone. It almost looks like a power play at this point for Findlay. However, we have been playing even strength. As that one finally sent ahead. Francis not giving chase inside the Findlay zone. Gets it back down low for Smith on the half boards. Putting it down low into the corner. Cycling it off the cage. Here's Francis not. Backhand feed. Sexton couldn't get it on his backhand. He gets tangled up in front. As Moss was holding his stick, no call, and he's still chirping back at the official as he shoots and scores. As Sexton absolutely laying into the officials on how he absolutely could not continue the play. And his stick was being held the entire time, and now he's going to get a penalty for it as he heads into the box. That was about as obvious no call as you could get. He was holding his stick. As they're still trying to get an explanation down there. And now head coach Rick Zaba wants to know what's going on. As the entire time that Findlay was trying to break out of the zone, it was Cooper Sexton being held onto by 15 Ryan Mass for Findlay. And he was prevented from getting into the play, which eventually led to the second goal. And it was after the whistle. And after that whistle, and so I guess we're going to have a 2-minute minor for unsportsmanlike conduct. Still trying to get the information up here on exactly what happened. As offsides is going to be the call. And indeed, as we hear Roger Mumpower with the call, unsportsmanlike conduct for letting the referee know that, well, he essentially missed a pretty big penalty that led to a goal, and unfortunately, you just can't handle it that way, as I think young Cooper Sexton has come to learn. And now the Trojans will remain on the penalty kill, presented by Skyline of Troy. It's Skyline time for another minute 23. At the first penalty of the game, and the first power play given to Findlay, as they'll work it across the Trojan line back on the far side. Bouncing puck knocked away by Troy. They're able to get that one deep inside Findlay territory. Is back to play as Brasfield out from behind his own net. Working it up ahead on the far side. They'll continue it up the wing as they'll scoop it out of their own zone. Here's Weasel. Hands it back off now for Clark. On this breakout attempt out to center at the line. Turns it across, top of the point, right wing side. Under pressure from Lombardo, he's able to outskate him, walks in between the circles, pulls the trigger before it's knocked away. And that one's going to be up and out of play to stop the clock with 11:29 to go. And another souvenir puck here as part of Youth Hockey Night. Fresh line as they'll battle down low into the corner. Turned around, stop, saved by Carver. Might have got a piece of his protective mask. As now with a head of steam as Smith forced it down low. Played out from behind the net on the near side for Francis Knott. Brasfield swipes it away from the crease. As on this breakout attempt, Findlay's able to get it out to center, now across the Trojans line 3 wide before they throw it off top of the point. Right back down low, cycle out from behind the net, turns, fires, pad save made by Carver. Rebound, kicks all the way back to the top of the point and held on momentarily before it's finally cleared. And Findlay forced to retreat at their own line before starting over. Back inside Troy territory. 10:24 and counting here in the middle period, a 2-2 hockey game. A non-conference affair between two very powerful hockey teams, as Francis Knott is able to get that one down low. Trojans trying not to get a too many men on the ice penalty in the middle of a line change as that shot turned aside by Brasfield. And now here come the Findlay Trojans the other way. Condi out from behind the net, loses the puck, there's a shot. Save made by Carver, rebound attempt. And Sexton is going to get a penalty for retaliation in the corner. And fans aren't impressed with this call at all as he's been worked over the entire time. And he again got frustrated, and he is going to be the one sent to the gate as you see him into the penalty box. And once again, the Trojans penalty kill unit out on the ice. And the draw controlled by Troy. They're able to ice it all the way down. This penalty kill for the Trojans presented by National Salt Distributors out of Bell Fountain, the official salt distributor of Troy Trojan hockey. Findlay posts up inside the Troy zone under pressure from Lombardo. Finally cleared out to neutral ice. They'll send it rink wide. Line to line, now across the line and onside. Under immense pressure, the Trojans able to clear. And they're going to get that one back down low as Brasfield will play it on the side of its cage. And on this breakout attempt now for Findlay, out to center ice it goes. Between the circles, hit off the puck, shot wide, rebound, near side on the half boards, walking in. Blocker pad save made, rebound again, glove down by Carver, and he is able to hold on as he mitted down. 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Noah Carver certainly getting his work tonight. Under a minute to go on that penalty to Cooper Sexton, and the Trojans' subsequent penalty kill presented by National Salt Distributors as the shot right from the point shoots and scores. A power play goal by Findlay. And that was enough to take their first lead of the game. A 3-2 lead now for Findlay on the power play. On their 15th shot of the night. Open ice hit knocked away. Here's Carson Smith. Battling down low, scoop back up by Findlay, out through center ice. They'll toss that one right back in as icing signaled. And icing is the call against Troy to bring the face-off back. With 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Lawson Bain getting credited for the goal. The go-ahead goal at 6:27 here of this second period. It's Findlay working it deep inside the Troy zone and around the boards. Wait on that centering pass. One touch out to neutral between the circles. Dangerous play for the Trojans. As Troy is finally able to clear the length of the ice. Icing signaled, and again, icing the call. And some fresh legs for both hockey teams. With under 8 minutes to go here in the second period. Face off inside the Troy zone. Won by Findlay, and a shot right on, bouncing puck. Knocked away at the last second. That one's cleared. And tangled up on the half boards. Clear but not out. Big open ice hit by Barnes, knocks the puck loose. As they'll still battle down low on the far side. Here's Gabby Paff, tries to get it free with Luke Harris. Little help from Brady Campbell, who we will hear from during the intermission. Able to get it in as icing signaled. And you see right there, icing the call. 7:03 to go. And in to take the faceoff from the bench is Gavin Burris. Wins it cleanly back to Schumann at the point, but he can't contain as it clears all the way back to Andrew Condi inside his own zone. Under 7 minutes now to go here in this middle stanza. Now a 3-2 lead for the visiting Findlay Trojans, if you're just joining us here on Troy, Ohio TV as part of Youth Hockey Night with the Trojans. They'll force it back down low. Off that centering pass, picked up by Wenning, and he's able to chip it in front of the benches out through center ice. As Findlay regroups out of their own zone, turns it back over for Lombardo, but he didn't have much of a shooting solution, I think you'd call it. As it clears back in front of the benches, picked up by Findlay across the line. Fans on the clearing pass as we play a little pong through the blue lines. Trojans careful not to get a too many men on the ice call right there during a line change. As Findlay able to ice that one free of charge. Where it's played back inside Trojan territory, out to center. Off that shot, down low. Turns that one back over for Smith, who sent it rink wide. And again in front of the benches. Some more pong as icing signaled, and icing the call. And that'll stop the clock now with 5 minutes and 22 seconds to go. And the faceoff will come back inside Findlay territory with some much needed line changes for both teams. And like we mentioned, stick around during the second intermission as we'll go downstairs for our player feature as we feature Soupy himself, Brady Campbell, and Ethan Vital. So you'll want to stick around for that. We'll also take a look at some of the sights around the concourse as part of this Youth Hockey Night. Some pretty awesome displays the Booster Association had put together. especially right in front of the opening by the main lobby. They'll play it down low into the corner with a big hit and a delayed penalty coming. And we are going to get a penalty against Findlay for the first time tonight on that hit into the corner. As 4 minutes and 47 seconds to go. Looks like it's 25 Chris Eichholt in the box, a checking from behind penalty. And so the Trojans are going to get the first power play of the game as we wait for the scoreboard to be updated. Indeed, it's a 5-minute major for checking from behind. And so the Trojans will have the power play for the remainder of this second period. A lucky break there for Troy. A 5-minute major for checking from behind on number 25, Chris Eichholt. As we wait for the face-off inside the zone. It's going to be inside the Findlay end. And this power play is brought to you by Clopay, America's favorite garage door. Made proudly here in Troy, Ohio. And proud sponsor of Troy Trojans hockey for a number of years now. This power play brought to you by Clopay. Let's see what they can do with a major as they'll work that one around. Played back at the point for Sexton. Wraps it around the Dashers. Now ahead for Lombardo. Up on the half board, sends it back to Campbell at the point. And out from behind the net. Under pressure. Right back to Campbell. Top of the circle. Shot! Save! Made by Brasfield. Rebound back into the corner. Tried a centering feed. Glove down by Sexton. Deep past the defender with a shot wide. Off the side of the cage and again. Trojans coming alive here on this power play. 3 minutes and 47 seconds to go. As Burris gets his pocket pick. They work that down low on this low cycle. Racing forward is Smith. Troy not able to keep it inside their zone. Sexton's able to pump that one right back in, and the Trojans will continue pressuring as icing waved off. And both teams will get wholesale changes with 3 minutes and 22 seconds and counting here. Trojans will have this power play for the remainder of the period as it was a 5-minute major. And on this breakout attempt, here's Sexton out through center ice. Deeks pass, tries to get it in front, and he may have drawn a penalty on this one. That was incidental contact, and he is not happy at all. And the crowd is absolutely up in arms at this one. He is not happy at all, and you hear boos coming from the crowd in section 31. The student section as well in 27, not happy with that call. And now Brady explaining his case with referee Jarrell Kindop, you see right there. It's going to be a 2-minute minor for tripping against Cooper Sexton. And now we're going to have a 4-on-4 finale to this period. 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go. .308 to go on that original penalty. As we go downstairs for Roger Mumpower.
Cooper Sexton, 2-minute minor for tripping. Tripping penalty on Sexton and the Trojans. That's a 12:05 of the second.
And right off the draw, this one played around by Conde. Bouncing puck inside the Troy zone. Held on to by Findlay. There's a shot, fanned on. Played back down low. 4-on-4 now for another minute 42 as there's a shot turned aside by Carver, and he will hold on. That stops the clock with 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go. As it'll be Condi coming off the ice in exchange for Crawford. Or excuse me, Campbell. As that one picked up by Troy off the draw. Even strength hockey. Smith inside the Findlay. And that one's going to be chipped up and out of play. Stopping the clock with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go. Two very close calls there for the Trojans, but from our angle upstairs, none of them went in the net. And boy, Ian Francis not wishes he could get that one back. And right off the faceoff, that one controlled by Findlay, inside Troy territory. Playing it back around, gets it back between the circles, a shot. 1 minute and 54 seconds and counting. And Troy will break this one out to neutral ice. Smith ahead inside Findlay territory. Playing it back around. Under pressure, Findlay simply ices it. Icing waved off. 38 seconds to go in Cooper Sexton's tripping penalty. And then the Trojans will resume their power play. As this one's dumped in by Troy. Played back for Gavin Burris. Loose puck in between the circles. Nearly knocked away by Condi. Played back out to center. And now here comes Findlay back the other way. 1:10 to go. Here in this second period, end-to-end action. Edge of your seat hockey here as they'll shoot. He misses the net! Rebound as Carver comes out of nowhere. And he gets the love from the crowd that he deserves after that. As Noah Carver, certainly the star of this hockey game so far. The junior netminder. As Sexton returns to the ice and the Trojans are back on the power play. .7 seconds to go as we do the chicken dance. They're going to do this one again and perhaps adjust the time on the clock as a few seconds may have ticked off. They're going to leave it as it is, 46.7. And from behind the net, Trojans on the power play for another 55 seconds. That'll carry over into the third. Stretch pass across Findlay territory, turned aside by Bradsfield into the near corner. They'll work it back around. Battling on the half boards, finally back at the point. Schumann sends it rink wide, but it's scooped up by Findlay, and they will clear it with 18 seconds to go here in the second period. Trojans trailing by a goal. Still on the power play, they'll work it out to center. Here's Eli Wenning, stripped of the puck. Here comes Findlay the other way now. Fresh off a line change, that centering pass knocked away by Troy. And as the horn blows to end 2 periods of hockey, the Trojans will take a 3-2 deficit into the dressing room after 30 minutes of hockey. As the Findlay Trojans coming back in that second period to take the lead, we will step aside. And don't forget, coming up here in this intermission, we'll go downstairs for our player feature tonight, featuring a pair of freshmen, Brady Campbell and, of course, Ethan Beidel. As you see the Trojans stepping into the dressing room right there for what I'm sure will be a very spirited conversation with that man, Rick Szabo, and assistant coach Preston Howes to try and get the Trojans back on top of the scoreboard here in the third period. Again, after 2 periods, it is Findlay 3, Troy 2. We will be back after this with our player feature. Stick around. This is Troy Trojans Hockey on Troy, Ohio TV. Welcome back for your intermission. JT Zabo rejoining you, and we're joined by a freshman duo here, Ethan Biddle and Brady Campbell. And boys, you got a big one against Findlay tonight. A tough loss on the road last night. How do you guys bounce back?
Well, pucks and deep shots on net, you know, just got to keep hammering in the offensive zone.
Honestly, pucks and deep shots on net, of course. But yeah, just like he said.
Same thing as it goes all around.
Now, you guys have your Troy Bruins jerseys. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you.
Yeah, I think this was probably like maybe squirts, maybe even mites. I mean, I don't know. I played, I think, travel, squirts 1 year and mites 1 year. So, you know, it just kind of means, well, we played like mites, right? Yeah, so we played like 1 year.
Now, you guys have played with a bunch of other Trojans throughout the course of your hockey careers on the youth Bruins. What is it like to reunite with some of these older players back on the varsity roster?
Oh, it's awesome. Like, the passes, it's very fluid. Like, the game, it moves fluid.
Trust.
Yeah, always trust the players.
Now, Brady, I got to ask you, you were the face of this morning's social media posts. A lot of people responded that they didn't recognize you almost in that pose. What is it like to be a varsity hockey player this season?
Honestly, it feels great being back. Like coaches, players, staff are amazing. And yeah, I love it.
Ethan, what is it like to see your pictures and think, well, I really did that?
It's just like a proud achievement, you know. Like, I'm here, you know. Like, all through my Bruins, I've always thought about playing for this team, you know. So like, I'm finally here.
Well, you've got one more home game left of your freshman season. How special is it to play at home tonight?
It's pretty awesome, you know. Playing at home ice is always nice, especially with the fans.
Final thoughts?
Pucks and deep shots on net.
Exactly.
All right, that's Brady Campbell and Ethan Biddle. We'll be back from Hobart Arena after this. Welcome back inside the historic Hobart Arena. JT Zabo rejoining you as we get set for period number 3 during here the second intermission. We just heard downstairs from a pair of freshmen, Brady Campbell and, of course, Ethan Biddle. Always great to get the insights from some of the younger Trojans who were Troy Bruins before donning the Trojan scarlet and gray. And that's what this is all about. As we take a look at what fans were treated to when they came into the rink today, that's a handful of youth hockey players right there checking out some of the displays in the main concourse. This, of course, some interesting posters that the Boosters Association put together showing a before and after of some of the Trojans who were a Troy Bruin and are now in a Trojan sweater, and an excellent job there by the Boosters Association to put that together before the game tonight. And there was two other things that caught my attention, and somebody told me prior to puck drop today, you got to go downstairs and you got to see the middle one. And again, when you look at a lot of them that are there, I found one in particular. Let's take a look at that. That's head coach Rick Zabo, a picture taken this year on the bench, and that picture was taken with the Muskegon Mohawks of the old IHL back in the 70s. You can see the mustache working right there, and of course, not to be outdone, they said, well, you got to go back and you got to take a look and see if you recognize this guy. Yeah, that is a 10-year-old me on the left, and then a picture we took over the summer at summer camp. And so I'd like to just thank the boosters for a minute for putting all of that together, for coordinating the youth hockey night as we celebrate minor hockey here in the Miami Valley. And certainly one of the things we love to do is celebrate the game of hockey. As the players step on the ice, we will step aside for one final break before third period action. You see them, they're coming. Third period hockey from Hobart Arena up next. Welcome back inside the historic Hobart Arena. JT Zabo rejoining you as the players out on the ice getting ready for period number 2. Let's take a look at how we got here in the first place. The Trojans controlled the scoring up and through the midway point of the second period. And it was the Findlay Trojans that scored the go-ahead goal on the power play. And there's been some controversy in this hockey game on some calls that maybe could have gone a different way. And I've heard a couple different things in the comments here on Facebook and on YouTube on some people maybe agreeing on that, but of course hindsight is always 20/20, and the Trojans have to deal with the here and the now as the players on the bench as we get set to go. As we get set here for period number 3. As Carver skates back to his bench, he has certainly got quite the workload. As we are underway here for period number 3. Again, the Trojans in their home white uniforms with the scarlet and gray piping, battling against the Findlay Trojans in their road blues. We return to full strength as offside signaled against Findlay at the tail end of that 5-minute major assessed during the second period. Even strength hockey as they'll battle along the near side boards. Here's Wenning trying to get a piece of it. Couldn't get much on it as they'll force it back on this centering pass, picked up by Schumann. He'll play it at the line. He gets that one clear, but not out. Right back for Wenning. On the dashers and back into the corner. There's the pass, played by Carver, wide of the net. Rebound out from behind the cage. That one picked up by Schumann, and ahead now for Lombardo, and right back to him. Give and go on this breakout attempt. Left side, Wenning gets that one just out to center. As Findlay will tag up, Troy forced to ice it. And icing the call to stop the clock with 13:49 to go. As the faceoff will come back inside the Troy zone. As Brady Campbell will swoop in to take the draw for Troy. One down low. Still played ahead for Conti. Off the dashers and up the wall. Held on momentarily at the point, but he'll lose an edge and go down as the Trojans now try to clear it out of their own zone and finally do. Harris pumps that one just inside, glove down. As that's going to race back inside Troy territory as Harris sends it rink-wide, icing signaled with Francis not giving chase. Unfortunately, that errant pass was enough with the fresh ice surface to count as an icing. And so we'll do this one again with 13:17 to go. And it is Brady Smith again to take the faceoff. One cleanly by Findlay back to the near point. A shot through screen. Paddled aside by Carver. Still so far has been the start of the game without question. But that one right back short side. Hard angle shot turned aside by Carver. Rebound again off the side of the cage. Sticks go up. No call as play continues back around the boards on the left wing side and clears all the way down inside enemy territory before they force that one out to center. On the breakout, too wide across the Trojan line. Curls off in between the circles. And again, forced ahead as Harris is able to clear for a change. And that'll force Findlay back into their own zone with 12:27 to go here in regulation. On this breakout attempt across the Troy line. Sexton battling down low into the corner. I'm sure he's trying his best to mind his P's and Q's after taking two penalties in that first and second period. Being a little more cautious as offsides is going to be ruled against Findlay. 12:04 to go. And it looks like they're going to put it right in front of the Troy bench as head coach Rick Szabo looks on. Battling for the puck against the Dashers. Wenning finally comes up with it. Sends it ahead for Burris. Or it's picked back up by Findlay. They'll carry it in. Shot turned aside by Carver with the stick. Paddled back into the near corner. Hit his own man on the half boards as the loose puck shoots and scores. Carver had it in his mitt. And somehow it had some momentum and escaped. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the ice. As head coach Rick Szabo calling timeout on the ice. As we'll wait for the official word on who scored that Findlay goal to make it a 4-2 hockey game. That initial shot was controlled by Carver. He was outstretched trying to get it completely covered in his mitt, and it just squeaked out, and unfortunately there were no trailers back-checking nearby in order to stop that offensive rush, and well, that's what happens. And so, as you see, head coach Rick Szabo having a conversation with his bench. Roger Mumpower announcing this one. Simon Tanner getting credited for the goal. Gage Ambrose also getting credited for this one. And so it looks like we're going to try this again. And so there we are, a 4-2 hockey game. As Carver gets final instructions from his head coach, 11:32 to go here in regulation. Faceoff will be at center ice. And is won by Findlay as they'll work it inside the Troy zone. Played back by Carver, out from behind his net and around the Dashers to the far side halfboards. Low cycle, scooped up by Conti, one times it ahead to Harris, who cannot clear as he goes up through the center as that's gloved down by Carver. A rookie play by Harris to try and clear out through the middle. And that's one of the first things you want to teach him, is you never go up through the middle, especially against a team like Findlay. And I think he learned the hard way on that one, while you always try to go off the glass and out. Offsides negated as Findlay will tag up at the line. This one played by Campbell out from behind the net on the half boards and ahead. Now for Smith, 3-on-2 the other way as Smith curls off. Nobody was there to pick up the trailing puck. As the Trojans cannot clear at the Findlay line. Here's Conti. Quickly fires it right back in. Icing waved off as they'll work it back down low inside the Findlay territory. Then out to center, suddenly getting the urge for some potato wedges. Maybe with some mustard on top. Just a random thought, as icing is going to be signaled against Findlay, and icing the call to bring the faceoff back inside the Findlay zone. 10:25 to go here in regulation in this 4-2 hockey game. As Sexton's bouncing puck works back into the corner. And again for Burris. Tangled up down low, sends it back to the point. Here's Sexton, fires low off the referee, Jarrell Kindot. Right back for Lombardo. Trojans set up into the corner, back to the half boards. Lombardo, give and go to Sexton, top of the circle, low shot as that one's deflected up and out of play by Brasfield. And that's enough to stop the clock with just under 10 minutes now to go. Here in regulation, 9 minutes and 58 seconds to go. And Burris will step in to take the face-off for Troy. Scoop up by Findlay, and they'll clear it on a Hail Mary pass through the neutral zone. Somehow was onside. They'll play it back into the half boards. Scooped up by Wenning. He's able to get it to the point, but not out. Kept in by Findlay. Forced right back inside. As the Trojans finally able to clear it ahead. And a good effort there by Wenning. Works it back into the far corner and around. As Schumann on the half boards with a little help from Lombardo as Burris blows a tire completely, turns and fires. Save made by Brasfield off that shot from Lombardo. And icing signaled, icing the call against the Findlay Trojans. And that'll bring the draw back. And a close call there and a big pad save by Jude Brasfield on that shot from Cam Lombardo as Conti keeps it in at the line. Works it back out from behind the net and around the boards now for Campbell. Posts up. Give and go back for Smith as Harris digs a backhander just wide. Rebound back for Francis Knott couldn't get much on it, and now here comes Findlay back the other way. As they'll work it inside Troy territory, deep into the corner. Pad save made by Carver. And now out comes Francis Knott too wide across the line with his Harris. As he loses an edge, this one right back to Campbell at the point. A shot turned aside by Brasfield. Loose puck. Almost tried a Michigan as the bouncing puck knocked away at the last second. And back to the point as Campbell holds it in at the line. Right back for Brady Smith, the shot. Brasfield the save. Rebound, kick back to the near side. As Conde holds in again at the line. Trojans continue pressuring as this one top of the circle finally clears. And Findlay has no alternative but to ice it in a relief. And a good series there by the Troy Trojans with 8:02 to go. Getting some good pucks in deep, especially on that last drive, making Brasfield make several saves. As the draw one, quickly back, shoots, scores! Gavin Burris! That cuts the Findlay lead back to 1 as Burris picks up his second goal of the night to make this a 4-3 hockey game. Here's Burris again, loose puck, side of the cage, and Brasfield finally had it.
Number 9, Kevin Burris with the goal. Giving assist to number 24, Eli Winning.
And Wenning and Lombardo will get credit for the assists on that goal. And you hear the accolades here from the crowd as Trojans exercising their last change opportunity as the home team to get some fresh legs out on the ice. 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in regulation. Trojans now trailing just by a goal. And what has been a thrilling, nail-biting hockey game here for some Sunday night action. Glad to have you along for the ride here on Troy, Ohio TV, on Facebook, also streaming live on YouTube tonight, and on demand at troyohio.tv. They'll force it back. Here's the centering pass. Glove down by Brasfield. And wisely holds on to stop the clock now with 7 minutes and 17 seconds to go. We mentioned earlier the Trojans trying to bounce back after a tough road loss last night in Columbus against Gahanna. Trojans certainly not taking any days off here against a very talented Findlay Trojans team as the bouncing puck scores! Tie game! That certainly got the crowd back into this hockey game as we're back to tie 4-4 with 7:08 to go here in regulation. Still plenty of hockey, but the Trojans have battled back completely and have tied this hockey game once more. We'll go downstairs to Roger Mumpower for the official word momentarily. As there's Barnes and Paff battling for it on the half boards.
Trojan goal gives us 7:52 last time in the third period. Number 7, Luke Harris with the goal.
As you hear Luke Harris, the freshman, picking up the tying goal. Ian Francis not getting the assist on Harris's goal. A big goal for a freshman. A clutch goal to tie this hockey game back at 4 apiece as bouncing puck knocked away. And finally dumped back inside the Troy zone as Carver will play it out from behind his own net. Sexton checked, Gets it ahead for Francis Knott. Hits off the side of the cage. Dangerous play right there on this breakout attempt. 23-19, the shots on goal still in favor of Findlay, but it is a 4-4 tie on the big board where it counts. 32 feet above the ice here at Hobart Arena. Open ice check, knocked it away, bouncing puck, he scores! The bouncing puck went over Carver after he made the initial save, over his shoulder, and trickled into the net before he could turn back, and that is as greasy a goal as you're going to get as a go-ahead. And Findlay retakes the lead, and sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail, and I think that's a perfect embodiment of that euphemism. And it's just plain old bad luck. 29's going to get credited unassisted as Burris is going to work it around. Simon Tanner picks up his second game of the night for Findlay. Sends it back, bouncing puck again knocked away. They'll work it into the corner. Back to Conti at the point, who holds it in. And shot down to Lombardo into the corner. Plays it ahead, now for Burris. 2 goals for Gavin Burris, including the tying goal. As they'll work it down low. Carver the save. Again the loose puck as he'll come out of his net to cover it up, making sure there was no rebound on that one. And so with 5 minutes and 3 seconds to go, a 5-4 lead for Findlay. Both teams will get wholesale changes for this faceoff. And it'll be Brady Smith to take the faceoff. And he'll win it off for Conti, who works it out from behind the corner. Up to the point, but not out. There's the shot. Loose puck finally squirts out to neutral ice and back inside the Findlay zone as they retreat back for Campbell. Offside signal. Findlay will tag up at the line. Campbell sends it rink wide for Conti, but it was a bit too rich for him as that goes back to Harris, racing for it. Looking for the hand pass. They're not going to get it. As back inside Findlay territory, they'll work it out from behind the boards. At the point, held on by Sexton, streaking in on the back check just in time as Harris sends it in front of the net, knocked away. Heavy traffic on Sexton as they'll work each other over in front of the net. Play continues. Loose puck, Sexton, backhand feed, trying to get something on it as it's clear but not out at the point. Working it ahead, out through center ice. Francis Knott nearly collided. Now a one-on-one the other way for Findlay, and they're just going to collide into the net together. Softly drift into the blue paint, as they would say, to stop the clock with 3 minutes and 52 seconds. And a big face-off inside the Trojans' end. And it will be Gavin Burris to take the faceoff for Troy. And one back to Campbell into the corner. Playing up the wing. Clear but not out. Held in by Findlay. They'll work it back down low. On the side of the cage, it's going to be covered up by Carver. And we're not going to get any further play for that one. 3:38 to go here in regulation. A nail-biting finish once again from the banks of the Great Miami River, as the Trojans trailing by a goal, 5-4. As they'll play it around to the far corner. Up behind the net. Centering feed knocked away by Campbell. That's why they call him Soupy. Literally just the name, but that's okay. Neutral ice on the stick check, gets it around, shot high. Looked like the net might have been knocked off the pegs momentarily, and indeed it is, as that's the stoppage we're going to get. They're going to keep the faceoff inside the Trojans' end as the net was hit off the pegs that anchor him into the ice surface, and they're going to say the Trojans were the one that did it. And so Troy will have the draw inside their zone once again. And right off the faceoff, the shot into the mitt of the hardest working man in the Miami Valley tonight, Noah Carver, who has had a full aerobic workout and then some between the pipes tonight. As they'll play it out from behind the net. Loose puck turned aside as Francis Knott was there. And now here comes Troy the other way. Here's Harris. Shot wide. Rebound at the point and held on. Kicks it free before it's turned back over by Findlay. And there comes Findlay the other way. Check on Sexton. Working it again, takes another high stick, and he doesn't retaliate this time as he glances over at the official. Rebound, shoot, score! Bang, bang, play! As Chris Eichbolt is able to intercept the feed from Merrill and make this once again a 2-goal deficit, 6-4 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in regulation. A really impressive play from behind the net. Just speaking sheer hockey play, a real impressive goal. And you can't be too down on getting beat by that. So we'll go downstairs for the official call. There's Lombardo now across the line all by himself. A shot. Rebound right back into the corner as Brasfield kicked out a big rebound. Now for Campbell. Into the skates. Gets a second attempt. As Wenning was there and pushed off the puck. The crowd wanted a penalty. They're not going to get it. As icing, the only thing they're going to be able to get. And the crowd is really upset at that one. As you hear fans here tonight certainly not shy of letting them know their displeasure. And the face-off won by Campbell, played back into the corner. As Lombardo is there on the half boards to the point, held in by Conde, and a good effort there at the blue line by Andrew Conde as they'll play it up the near wing. There comes Findlay out through center ice. Regrouping out of the corner. On this height shot, hit off the side. Carver may have gotten a piece of it as they'll work it back down low for Wenning. One touch now for Gavin Burris out through center ice. Here's Burris all by himself. Carver out of the net as the Trojans' net is empty for the extra attacker. 28 seconds and counting. They'll work it back to the point. Intercepted by Findlay at the line. The Trojans struggling to get back as they are absolutely exhausted with 15 seconds to go. This one an icing call, and icing against the Findlay Trojans will stop the clock with 9.5 seconds to go. As you see the empty net for the Trojans, 9.5 seconds to go. It looks like head coach Rick Szabo is going to leave Carver out of the net. Trojans with the extra attackers. Gavin Burris will take the face-off, wins it back to the point for Condi. Intercepted as that one works it all the way back inside the Trojans' end. Troy's going to be offsides by a mile as time expires. And the end of regulation is upon us as the Findlay Trojans will skate after coming from behind. A tough 6-4 victory over the Trojans tonight as part of Youth Hockey Night here at Hobart Arena. Of course, a tough loss for the Trojans, their second loss of the weekend, but more importantly, and perhaps more impressively, this is the first loss at home all season. Coming up to tonight's game, the Trojans were undefeated on home ice. And so that comes to a conclusion tonight as the Trojans will skate off the ice, falling to the Findlay Trojans, a final score 6-4 as part of Youth Hockey Night presented by your locally owned Tim Hortons here in Troy. And again, we'd like to thank Tim Hortons and their entire staff for supporting youth hockey and the Trojans here in the Miami Valley. Again, a final score tonight, 6-4. The Findlay Trojans skate and take a heartbreaker from behind against the Trojans. The Troy Trojans have one final game at home, and that is Sunday, February 5th, a 5:45 face-off against the Beaver Creek Beavers. We'll have that game for you right here on Troy, Ohio TV, as we always do. And don't forget, this game and every other home game that we've televised all season long is available on demand on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course at TroyOhioTV.com. For our entire crew here at Hobart Arena, for Roger Mumpower downstairs, for Riley, for Lily, for John Wyatt, for Rhino, for Brielle, and our entire Troy, Ohio TV crew, I am JT Szabo. Your final score tonight is 6-4. Trojans lose to Findlay. We'll see you next game, everybody. Thanks, and have a great night.